some noise. We are back live in Los Angeles, and we are gearing up for match 2 of the day. Canada just struck first. They're at the top of the leaderboard, but we have plenty more games coming your way. Let's take a look at the full schedule here for Friday. Right now, we are getting into the mix of it as Norway is going to be taking on Switzerland. A little bit later, we see Canada again going up against Brazil and USA. Any USA fans out there? We'll be taking on Austria before Norway faces off against Brazil. Are you guys ready for your second World Cup match? That's right, it's gonna be a fun one, and to kick things off, we have 2 incredible casters. It's gonna be Semler and Hexagrams. Take it away, fellas.
What's up, everybody? Hi.
Hey.
So, we're into it. That was really slick, but of course it's thank you, Pocket! And we are live, Hex. We are live for the second match of the day here at the World Cup 2018. And we all got distracted, guys, because the players are in here with us. You're about to witness the magic of the walkout.
Don't lump me in with you. I was ready. I was camera ready, on spot, ready to go.
Listen. I mean, the Swiss speak French, so I'm just chatting away, having a good time. Yeah. Hey, guys, opportunity.
All right, well, now we are going to have the players ready. They're walking through our caster closet here, so let's see what Puckett has to say about these teams.
All righty, thank you so much, fellas. We got a lot going on, a lot of players being swapped out here on the stage, but it's time to meet our first team. Are you guys ready? Make some noise for the dark horse of the tournament. It's Team Norway. We've seen these guys in the past. You've watched Onigod tear up contenders as well as Decode. Norway, the dark horse of the event. Will they be able to topple US and Canada? Well, first, they have to get through this next team. Please give a warm welcome to Team Switzerland. Team Switzerland coming into this World Cup. They're the underdogs tonight. They know it, but they're playing with friends that they know very well in the Swiss scene. Can they get the upset? We're about to find out. Semler Hex, kick this one off.
Thank you, Puckett. So, you only do it once. You only do it once. All right. So, Hex, I mean, yeah, this is going to be it. You're telling me that Norway, they're the underdogs, but I'm sitting here thinking, obviously, they're Scandinavian.
Yeah, I suppose. Look, this group is tough. You got USA, you got Canada, stacked full of Overwatch League players, and then some of the top contenders players, and then you have some players who are just not those on the other sides. But a lot of people think that perhaps Brazil or perhaps Norway can start challenging, taking some maps off the USA or Canada, and then maybe use the hubris against them, is what Norway says. Like, they don't expect us to win, so you start running, you start solo-walting sound barriers against Norway, things might go a little bit differently.
That's what you get when you put a DPS main on a support character. I'm a support hero. That's what's up. It's just gonna get. It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Lucio's a DPS hero.
That's what.
Exactly. Don't you read the forums? That's how you play Lucio.
Oh yeah, exactly. Always looking for the murder holes or the murder rivers or canals in that case.
We got Norway right here, and one of the great things we were able to meet with the teams the other day. Norway described themselves, and this is why I love them, as a group of idiots. And I was like, yes,
I appreciate that.
Into that. You got a lot of these guys who have some World Cup experience. I believe 4 of the 6 were on the team last year, so not nerves going to be a factor for this team in particular. As you mentioned, Onigod, I feel I've been watching Onigod since Contender Season 0. Great Genji. I don't know if we're going to see Genji in the current meta that we have. And this is the team I'm unabashedly rooting for, Switzerland. I met with them the other day. They finally made it to the World Cup. Last year, they were 1 rank away from sending a team to the World Cup. This is their debut here. And these guys, I said, what are your expectations? They're like, we want to win a map. And I was like, yes, I will root for you until you win a map. I have so much Swiss knowledge I'm going to drop thanks to our friend Zoe here. And we're going to kick it off and take a look at our maps right now.
You're so American, Hex. Always rooting for the underdog every single time. But we are going to be kicking it off on Nepal. You'll see that we will be playing through the 4 maps here, best of 5 format, but with 4 maps to get into it. So, and we will be playing all 4. Keep that in mind. If you've been tuning into Overwatch League, you'll be familiar with that idea. So.
It's all about keeping the map score up too. So like I was talking to Norway before when we were getting makeup done. Yes, we're grown men wearing makeup. That's totally fine. And I was like, well, I'm rooting for Switzerland until they win a map. So if you guys let them win one, I'll start rooting for you. And they're like, we can't give up a map. We got to get all the map points that we can get. So we're going to kick it off here on Nepal, one of our control maps, a beautiful map. So perhaps Switzerland will feel at home here. Snowy mountains like the Alps are.
I like where you're going. It's going to turn out that Norway is going to be trying to scale the Nordwand. Just everybody's going to be dying on that Eiger North face. They used to call it the murder wall, Hex, for good reason. Yeah,
is that where you adapted Murder Hole from when we get to Iliad? Stealing all your material from geographic locations around the world.
Oh man, just read about that. Holy Steck, what a boss! R.I.P. So Norway, it is going to be. We got the 20 seconds until we get into the action, guys. So a little bit of time here to figure out what these rosters are going to look like.
So it's very likely that Switzerland's going to run what we call the GOATS comp, where it's 3 supports and 3 tanks. I call it the triple because my LA bias, just kind of my in and out order and the GOATS comp are the same thing. 3 supports, 3 tanks, and the reasoning behind that is, I quote this: more HP, more room for mistakes. So that's where Switzerland is going. I said, what if it doesn't work? And they said, we'll just add more tanks. That's how Switzerland wants to play. I'm looking forward to it. Norway going to come out with a Reaper, which can be very good against tanks. We've seen May on this point before.
I like that. Yes, give me more Reaper play. We're not seeing so much Soon these days, right? So you got to get your Reaper where you can get it, Hex. Already the wall thrown up here by Lux as well. We've seen May on this point as well because of that wall. There's that choke point. You can just cut teams in half as they try to push onto the point. So I like it. What? That is a ridiculously fast shatter.
Decon, the heart and soul of this team, comes in, but Switzerland's the one getting the kills. They started it off on a kill early on as well. This nice wall placement. They simply got there a little bit quicker. It's a game of positioning. Now everyone else escorted out of the point. Yeah, going nowhere, Zarya.
Yeah, already. Just straight action. That's what we expect on this point. So, Mimi's working his way up to the shadow of the zone. It's going to make life difficult for Norway trying to push back into this point. They're going to have to be careful about that Ryan shield, but Shinoda and maybe going to be looking to get the combo off. The 1-2 combination punch straight to the jaw.
Yeah, it's so momentum-based when you're running these similar comps against each other because you're just going to smash into each other as big balls of meat. Who gets the ult is a big thing. A shatter up for Mimi. CP hit.
You got a target or 2 there, but they get overwhelmed. May on May. It's just getting cold. Sub-Zero. It's not as if the map was cold enough.
So it's Sub-Zero, yet we have Scorpion in the game. Old school MK action happening right now as Eva takes down a couple of their own. This one's pretty back and forth. It's been alternating in the kill feed. Does Norway have the throughput? It looks like they do to flip it back.
They will, and no ice block there off cooldown. Not going to be able to make it. We do get the stun. Odegaard getting taken for a ride, but Norway, they will succeed in flipping that point. Maybe he has to back off, try to get in range of Shinoda for the heals, and he will.
Switzerland's May, pronounced Luke's right there, threw in the Blizzard at the end. And you may think that it's a bit of a waste of an ultimate, but with how fast May charges Blizzard, you might as well toss it in. And they still had 2 alive. Maybe you hit that charge a little earlier, then you can maybe pull it back. So I don't mind throwing in the Blizzard in a desperation there from Luke's.
Luke's is, I like Luke's because you put that into a French accent, all of a sudden it means something expensive.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, definitely Switzerland. Not a cheap place to live.
Like luxury.
There you go.
It's like all languages, some languages are based on the same one.
Well, there we go. Combo into it. Death Blossom from track, just wiping everybody out, and they're nearly tied up here. Norway looking good so far. A little bit of a bumpy start, but...
That's super gutsy to throw out the Death Blossom when there's a Brigida on the other team. If you can take down the Brigida, then you have free range. The Death Blossom will get double stunned out. And if you can use a Death Blossom to secure 1 or 2 kills, go ahead and do it. It's one of the lower value ultimates in the game right now. That is if you're playing the Reaper to begin with. But as you mentioned, too much tied up. I'm going to take a little second to admire the ice wall there.
Oh, that's a shame. No follow-up on that ice wall. That would have been sick if they could have clipped the Rhine. There's the ult, though, straight into a shatter. Decod already out of it. They will trade with no Brigida around. It's looking like Norway are going to pull ahead in this fight. The Lighthouse blazing away. And yeah, 75% and counting for Norway. Looking fantastic. Very good. Very good.
going to be very difficult to see how Switzerland is able to get back in this one. They do have the rally from Shinoda, so you think that maybe they just use it during the fight to start regenning armor as well. They're going to have Sound Barrier. They have all the support ultimates they need to work with. Meanwhile, on the Norway side of things, 0 support ultimates. So Switzerland not out of this one yet. Got to win this fight, though.
There we go. That was a wall. It doesn't succeed in cutting the team, but it will buy a little bit more time. And speaking of which, to use the classic phrase, overtime wickets, burning Hex and burning down.
I've never heard that before.
I'm always coming up with clever stuff like that. Doesn't end, doesn't stop. Broken records have got nothing on me.
There they go. They bring it back. They only had to use 2 of their support ultimates, so in a decent position here, and they get a full cleanup on the other side. But that momentum swings back to Norway's. They'll have support ultimates of their own. Very critical, though, that Remix was able to keep his sound barrier up. You start seeing a Blizzard come in, or maybe one of these crowd control ultimates. If you can get that sound barrier down, you're very likely to live through some of them.
Yes, and it just covers that whole point, Blizzard. But we will have the Lighthouse on the way here from IPN in just momentarily, so he can shine forth, lead the way. What's Decod doing? I guess he's just giving some soak. There it is. There's the May wall. Do they manage to collapse on this? Yes, they do. Onigod has to use the Blizzard out in the open to buy some space here for his team to regroup and push on to the point.
Desperation there. Shinoda's been really killing it on this Brigida. There comes the crowd control. They had to use the sound barrier in the prior fight, so no one able to get the extra healing there, but this is down to the last fight, and Norway, I think, would be a little upset with Switzerland. Switzerland might get their first map right away.
The underdogs, turns out they've got some fangs, Hex. This could be shaping up nicely. We've got another Death Blossom, and there's the stun you were talking about. Instant interrupt, no deaths there. Norway, however, once again, we are going to be trading 1 for 1.
They flipped up point over, now it's Norway in control, so Switzerland has to get them off of the points and then take it back, but it seems like they're getting all the kills they need.
They do manage to pick up one there, and then of course you're gonna have the delaying tactics coming through from Onigod. The stick on Kiva gets demeched, and they will succeed in the flip. Now can they get back onto the point? Track is trying to run his way back in, and he will not make it. Ejected immediately. And the strong start here for the Swiss.
Switzerland yesterday was so funny talking to them too, because they're like, we always start really strong. And then the longer it goes on, the worse we get. And I think a lot of this, the Swiss team, none of these guys are professional players necessarily. They have jobs, they have to go to university. It's really expensive to live in Switzerland, so you can't just give up your life and try to become a pro gamer. So a lot of them don't necessarily have the endurance that you see of guys who are grinding 10 to 12 hours, because you gotta work, you gotta study. If you wanna live in one of the nicest countries in the world, you gotta put in your dues. But they come out really strong there, and they might already set their expectations a little higher after this.
I like this. We're gonna turn this broadcast into an economic lesson, because it's just like Norway too. Norway.
I have sheets and sheets of Swiss backs.
I love paying $16 for a Big Mac. Yes, give me more of that, Norway. I mean, that was a brutal land.
I've been to Sweden. It is non-inexpensive to use a double negative.
All right, well, looking like we're gonna get a bit of a change here from Switzerland. They're hightailing it back to spawn, so most likely gonna get some swaps up here on the comp. Yep, we've got a Zen in play. The whole team had to go back just to make sure that that Zen.
He's slow. He's a bit of a slow player. So Switzerland told me that they're probably mostly going to run the GOATS composition. I think no one would be surprised by that. It requires a little bit less coordination because you're all clumped up, just hit your abilities, and you can probably win out some fights. If necessary, maybe they'll end up switching to some more projectile explosive damage.
Yeah, it's looking like it's just going to be the wear and tear right now, building up. A little bit of a ride there, but maybe going to get overwhelmed. Many kills right now for Norway on this point. Successful hold for them, and they will take first control.
This is actually a really important stage for Switzerland, because Nepal is their favorite map, except for Sanctum. Sanctum being the third stage that we would have to go to, Sanctum being the stage that plays a little bit differently than these other 2 stages. So they've already gotten stage 1. If they can get stage 2 here, they'd be very happy, because they don't really want to play Sanctum on their favorite map.
So let's see. Oh. Okay.
Did you step on something? I still hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, well. That's interesting. Cover for me for a second here, Hex.
Well, regardless, Eco's able to take down Shinoda, who was the all-star standout on the first one, and that is 2 down quickly as Norway continues. The reset comes in for Switzerland, as they will take a trip off the edge of the map back down to the village. All these maps are connected, one giant map. All the stages are connected, I should say. And now Switzerland is banked up some ultimates to be able to use. They will have nearly everything. Self-destruct has been a big player so far, and the one match we've seen in this group stage in Los Angeles. There's the grab.
Grab is out, so everything is good, and there's the combo. Tricky with the Diva Bomb straight into the mix.
It's tricky to rock a rhyme. To rock a rhyme that's right on time. It's tricky.
It's tricky. Everybody start jumping up and down right now.
That's also really, really nice for Norway as far as just cleaning them up, wiping them out. They should expect to lose this next fight if Switzerland uses their ultimates correctly. They almost have all 6 check marks going up.
Yeah, about to crack open that 6-pack. Kiva's the one who's holding him up. There's the Shatter to kick things off. We've got the sound barrier as well. Beautiful grab that's going to create an opportunity here. 2 kills already. Key figures as well with that AoE healing out of the picture. The Moira dead. That's going to make it difficult here for Norway to hold into this fight, and they're not going to do it.
They have to win this fight. It does seem like all the pieces fall in place. They used every single ultimate that they had. So Mimi's going to get himself another Shatter. Ryan is in such a strange place right now because he's so difficult to play against these compositions where you're just getting stunned and bashed and you're getting knocked all over the place. However, the flip side of that is pretty much going to have Shatter all the time.
I mean, you're hitting like 3 people every time you swing that hammer because you're also grouped up. Yeah, I like it. More shatters, more explosive plays. There's the grab, though. He had something, but it's going to be 2 kills here for Norway, and they look like they are going to hold.
Yeah, there's no counterplay available for Switzerland when they were all caught in the group hug of the Graviton, and now it is just cleanup. Norway will take control back. It'll be difficult for Switzerland to get in here with any sort of significant force, and they will just push them back. We're going to be tied up 1-1 on Nepal going into Sanctum.
Excellent work there, keeping it together. These are going to be the slight differences that you're going to, well, slight, I mean, barely major. Ult usage, right? Ult usage with committing everything to fights is going to put you on the back foot for the following one. And so Switzerland, you know, they threw everything in the kitchen sink in, and then what did they have left? They were trying to fend them off with, like, you know, the toilet plunger.
Yeah, Matt and Mitch talked about it a little bit earlier, how in the Overwatch League at such a high level of play and such a constant high level of play that the smallest mistake always gets punished. So some of these teams that don't have that high level of experience are trying to build compositions which allow them to make mistakes. As Switzerland mentioned, the more HP you have, the more room you have for mistakes. When you're going in these similar compositions, any sort of mistake as far as do we need that ult can really snowball into being something that is difficult to come back from.
Look at what Norway are running, though. This is going to be fun.
It's a new variation on dive, the Sombra Tracer being your dive DPS here. And Ana has re-entered the meta, as has Lucio. Switzerland's hashtag is actually no mercy, because they're thrilled that they don't have to play mercy anymore.
Yeah, get that res mechanic out of here. I mean, right now it is going to be a bit of a standoff between both of these teams. Norway have elected to take up the position first on the point. Switzerland, of course, moving together as a unit, maximize that AoE healing coming in from the Moira.
It's a little bit late. I think they wanted to touch the point before control came over, just taking the roundabout ways there. But Luke's takes down Onigod. Those right clicks will charge your ultimate so fast. 2 headshots with the icicles.
Oh my, he just wiped them out. There's the DPS down here for Norway. Again, kind of hanging out on the edge, looking to dodge that icicle, but he's going to get caught by Reflex.
Right.
Okay,
so
then.
It looks like Norway actually didn't take control of the point. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them take it. So a good timing there by Switzerland to get on the point at the last second, and now they're going to start taking up the percentages.
Oh, wow. And there's the follow-up. All right, that first one, though, was spicy. I like that.
It's got to be burst damage, too, on the Sombra. She's up there trying to farm tanks so she can get EMP, but she'll just translocate out if you don't burst her down like that.
Beautiful work there, right over the top of the wall, trying to stay together. Tricky gets overwhelmed, but that is a perfect position for the Moira beam. Just cleaving right through that choke point. You want to get through, you're going to take the heart.
And you see right there, that's what those 2 right clicks lead you to. The Blizzard already came in. They throw in ultimates, but Switzerland mopping up right now. The momentum firmly in their favor.
Beautiful work from Switzerland right at the choke point, funneling Norway into a max amount of damage. Max a lot of CC, and well, Switzerland are going to hold for now. It's a question of whether they can do it again. They will have sound barrier for this next fight as well, so one of those big defensive ults to really make them a tough nut to crack.
They've used a few more ultimates, but Norway invested Nano and Shatter into the last fight, so it's not like they're banking.
So you see that, though, Mimi just gets canceled out of his Shatter. He was trying to go for the surprise, crouching in the corner, but hey, Norway, you know, checking corners, that's what it's all about. Lux getting stunned as well. Track really coming up with the goods right now. Ooh. And the knockback by Scorpion.
Scorpion's gonna go off, but it was time to reset anyway. The only problem is now you're just giving over a bit of ult charge, but Eco did have his sound barrier all the way ready, and now Norway has banked it all the way back up, even though they used Nano and Shatter in the penultimate fight, or the fight before last, rather, I'm sorry. They will have both of those back up. 6 whole ultimates, but Switzerland's really only one fight away. They could just kind of throw this one into an eco rush.
Exactly, trying to force some ultimates out. Yep, there's the sound barrier already getting thrown into the mix. We've got the grab as well by Onigod. They're trying to build on this. Maybe will eject Decod so he's out of the fight. And then Norway right now, they need to kind of figure out how to get back into this. They're kind of hanging in here. Tough people to kill.
Switzerland is committing to this, though. They've used a blizzard. They've used the barrier. 2 of them almost went off the edge, but were able to ride that wall, get back up here. And now it's just Track and Decod on the point.
They're going to get overwhelmed right now. There's 5 players right here for Switzerland just looking to crush. Not going to be able to survive that much longer. IPM gets boofed up again here by Remix. These environmental kills from the Lucio. It really is their time to shine.
Oh, nice stagger there late, too, as Track and Oni will fall late. Now they're going to hold doorway here. They're going to have the Brigida rally to work with and a Graviton. They can just lock them out. And the question is, can you grab at this door and get your swings through? There you see the armor coming up off of Brigida's ultimate.
This is going to be the big grab. You just have to hope that D.Va's not going to be able to eat it. On the other side of the wall, hiding it. Gonna draw him in, but not quite the impact that they were looking for. Although Lux does manage to find a kill on Track. There's no Brigida in the mix, but they flip the point in the meantime.
Yeah, they've got a back cap going with their Lucio on the point. Oni's off, but Decod running wild right now takes down a couple. Kiba's got 100% charge. It ends up being like an MS Paint Eraser, wipe them off the map. A nice little jump onto the point. They could be able to bring it back. Feels a small mistake they're using the wall and the grab the way they did. The wall would have locked them right out. But that's a lockout ultimate onto the point as Blizzard comes in. Just Decod here.
And he's not for long.
Nope.
Not for long. Oh, and he gets boosted as well.
Desperation time, have to throw it in. And Switzerland, whose only fear was going 0 in 20, will not go 0 in 20. Move those expectations, boys.
That's going to be resetting things here for Norway. They're the ones that got to figure out, now wait, hold on here. What is happening? Excellent work there from Switzerland in the end, making all the right calls. So there we have it, Hex. Switzerland in the lead.
Very close.
Not so neutral after all.
We're just gonna hit neutral jokes all day. Very close on that one, though, if you just look at the stats. It's like 57, 53, I'll get 52, 56, rather, as far as just kills go. So it's just kind of small things here and there. I was pretty impressed with the Brigida play. And you know my opinions on Brigida when I have to play against her, but I thought Shimoda played it really well.
You love her as much.
Shinoda.
Yeah, Shinoda. You love her about as much as a Fanning McCree, I think.
Yeah, well,
So,
you know, then there's issues I have with Genji as well. But I'm just bad, so I don't like any player that kills me.
yeah, that's usually how it goes, Hex.
Yeah, it is. It's OP when they play it, and it's underpowered when I play it.
Exactly. Why aren't I always getting 6-man D.Va bombs? What is this? Hear it all the time, guys. Hear it all the time.
No, it's exactly like paper is fine, rock is OP, signed scissors.
I'm liking this from the Ryans, though. Just lots of final blows for both of these Ryans because they're just in the thick of it all the time. So, I mean, hey, Johnny Boy, Reinforce, going to be seeing him play some Ryan. I expect to see the same from him at some point. But it is Blizzard World coming up next on the maps.
Right, Norway with the selection there. We will be going to the wonderful Blizzard Worlds. And, you know, you could say Nepal was Blizzard World. 2 Mays ran all the way through that. Both teams ran May the entire time. Those points get locked down by her ultimate, the Blizzard, like I said, which charges really fast. And I think Sanctum, which was a map that Switzerland feared going forward, was really won by 2 early icicles to the dome by that May, because then the next time you lock it out with the Blizzard. And, you know, some ult usage I think may be questionable towards the end. You wait for that wall to fall down because D.Va can kind of still eat it with the defense matrix. That buys you the time, and then you can just lock them out of the point with the grab. You don't even have to fight because they're not going to be able to touch it. So it looked like they had a set play there. I'm not sure, you know, but these teams haven't really had a ton of times to scrim, to be honest.
I'm looking forward to more of this level of play from Switzerland. When you get used to that luxury, right? You get used to that level. It's hard to go back, Hex. It's hard to go back. Yeah, I don't think they're expecting to do the same.
I like that these observers are terrifying us. I've got a bit of thalassophobia, and you just throw me right into the shark's maw. What was that? Thought we're friends.
Well, you know, we'll find out now if Norway are going to need a bigger boat because they got some work ahead of them here. Switzerland will be starting on the attack, though. Switzerland will be starting on the attack.
You are kind of wearing like the modern chic fisherman sweater as well. If your collar was a bit bigger, you know.
Yeah, and the buttons along the side.
Yeah, get you a little corncob pipe. We'll get it going.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Captain Haddock.
So Switzerland, goal 1 met. Not getting shut out. They just, honestly, like, these guys were having a good time. They're like, look, we understand where we're at in this group. We understand no one expects anything of us. If we can win a map, then we're going to play free and easy, free and loose. And they looked really good there. They overcame a demon that was Sanctum for them. They were afraid of playing that one. So house money now, just play whatever.
That could be the thing. I mean, if they keep up on that point, it is a good point to raise, Hex. If there's no pressure on you, you guys are just going to mess around and have a good time, and you are playing a pretty strong comp. So they're sticking to their guns right now, Switzerland. No change there. And as far as Norway are concerned, I like it. We'll have a Pharah flying high. No real answer to the Pharah here with this comp that Switzerland are running. So I do expect Track to just have a field day.
Well, you know exactly what Switzerland's going to run for the most part. They're going to run this until you prove that you can beat it. And the anti-heal from Ana has become so important in trying to disassemble this triple-triple combination, because even when you know what the other team's running, it's still like, well, how are you going to beat it, though? You know, like the GOATS comp triple-triple is what I'm going to try to really name it now, because I'm really tired of hearing the word GOATS.
You've been spending too much time in LA. How many times have you been in and out? Triple, really? You know, 3x3?
It's a number greater than 0.
Okay. I like we have that baseline to get off of.
All right, so they are going to move over to a Widow to try to deal with this Pharah. It's a great switch here to try to at least put some pressure and make her play at least behind some stuff, right? You don't even have to hit your shots, but it changes the way the Pharah plays.
Yeah, Track is already trying to change that up. Nice little nade there. Trying to limit that healing here. Norway, though, they are going to be able to find it. Track wins the duel versus the Widow, but we lose Eco in the meantime to Kiva. Oh, what a stack! Triple kill for Onigod on the Tracer. Okay.
These are the kind of big flashy plays that you're just used to seeing from Onigod. He is a DPS aficionado. He's so good at so many heroes. I remember him so many different ones. His Genji great, but obviously Pulse Bomb can be pretty good against this composition if they're softened up enough.
Oh, they were all right there in the corner. It couldn't have gone better. I like that. More AoE, just do the burst. And now we have a McCree in play here from Luke. So it is not going to be the Widow. Feels like he wasn't getting the bang for his buck there. And now we've got a boosted Monkey on the point.
Well, they go to McCree to help with the Tracer and the Pharah. Of course, the stun on the Tracer will deal with that. It's a nice kill on Onigod. And Luke's does exactly what is required of this hero. Takes down the Tracer, takes down the Pharah. That's why he switched to that McCree.
That was a sick play, and not quite finding the shots there at the end. Looks like Eco will be able to get back around the corner. Now it's going to be about delaying here for Norway, hoping that people are going to be able to run back onto this point. We still have IPN chilling out on that Ana on the high ground, but Kiva's looking to put some pressure on him, and yep, we will have Switzerland successfully taking over the first point, minute and a half on the clock. And we're up to 4.
I really like the quick switch from Luke's, though. After he gets challenged on the Widow and the Pharah just dunks on him, right? Because it's a high-pressure situation. And look, none of these guys in Switzerland have played in this environment before. The closest experience they have is playing at, like, local lands, stuff like that. This is a big stage right now. So now you get one map on your belt, settle some nerves. But I think McCree gives you a little bit more against the Pharah to not really worry about. Deals with the Tracer as well. A great switch. And I like that he didn't just get stubborn and stick on the Widow.
Yeah, exactly. You know, trying to run it. You're not feeling it. You're going for a comp where McCree will get a lot of support. Just do it. Just do it. So Luke's, he might be backing off now, going for a bit of a change. He has got the Deadeye, but right now we have a couple of kills coming through here for Norway. Luke's just backing all the way up into spawn.
All the way back into spawn. And now Norway is going to have 2 of the snipers in Overwatch on their squad. They've got a Hanzo. They've got a Widow. There's a variation you can see very often run against the triple-triple comp.
Yeah, crouching Hanzo, hidden dragon. Not for that long though. The dragon out onto the point, clearing it out, cutting Switzerland in half. Mimi's completely separated from his team. He's gonna get overwhelmed out here.
It looked like it was going to be a decent disengage, but as you mentioned, they were bifurcated, and Mimi was just waiting for sweet death there, and it will oblige him with a grenade. It's so important to have the AoE kind of stuff to be able to deal with a very tank-heavy composition.
Well, Luke can't be too happy about that arrow to the knee, and he's lost all of his energy. It's done. Got to start all over again. So Switzerland now taking the time to kind of group back up again. That is kind of the point of the comp. Run together, get topped up, and move in. Try and take advantage of that shatter. Something like they're trying to change the angle up here, but it looks like Decod's also in position to deal with this. They've got it covered.
Yeah, well, this is one of the points, though, that it seems like you have more area than you do, but you can also get spawn camps on it because there are the flanks that allow a lot of the damage dealers to come out. Dragon gets thrown in, and this one's getting cleaned up in pretty short order here.
Woo! That looked like it was about to hit, but the payload got in the way. That would have been sick. Too bad IPN. Really holding on to that nano. I thought he would throw it in this next fight, or in this fight, but it's looking like he'll have that for the next one to rely on.
The problem for Switzerland right now is that they're getting beaten so badly in these fights that they've not even been able to come back as far as ultimate economy goes. So they need to start banking up some ultimates. The nearest one that they have outside of the ones already earned is probably going to be Rally. Rally can be a game changer. There's no Brigitte on the other side of things either, so you're essentially just going to give your entire team as much armor as humanly possible.
This next engagement is going to be key. A minute on the clock left here for Switzerland to make some real progress with this payload. And while Norway is still looking so confident, we do have the Mercy in play. And what's important about that is that we've nearly got the Valk online. So when those wings come out, it's going to get even more difficult here for Switzerland to crack it.
The Mercy is largely in play to damage boost your Widow and to damage boost your Hanzo to make sure that you're getting as big a burst damage as you can into this big tank line here. But of course, he also is able to resurrect and erase any mistakes you might make.
Viva finally going to put some pressure here. We are going for it. Storm Arrow out. Not quite the damage. Maybe getting overwhelmed though. Decon coming up with the goods. 2 kills for him. The stun on Shinoda means that he's dead. And that is donezo. Norway, excellent hold on their part. Hardly any progress made at all with this payload.
They committed a great deal to that one too. So maybe Switzerland can swing it back. That aforementioned Rally, the armor-giving ultimate from Brigitte is going to be online. So Switzerland is going to be a little bit tougher right now. However, they're not going to be able to sneak up on him. Track is nearing infrasight, and the Dragon is ready to eat.
Let's see, now we got the Rally as well. Doesn't matter, canceled! Shinoda taking into the wall, some modern art, and it's over. Onigod now getting a position for the flank. If he can just hit one more arrow here, not quite going to find it. Still, nah, whatever. We're just going to have EKO killing him. EKO.
It's a little
Sorry,
bit
habit.
Yeah, habit. Old habits die hard. Switzerland dies quick here. It just all fell apart after this first point. The choke was too much for them to overcome. Norway with a nice hold, bouncing back.
Sick play from Norway, looking like they've got a bit, trying to just show a bit of that pedigree right now. Them being the favorite team in this matchup. Switzerland not quite knowing how to react to that hold. And while that's, when you have a single strategy, you've made it perfectly clear that this is your single strategy, it just leaves the ball in Norway's court as to like, right, okay, now let's just keep throwing different things at them because they're not going to know how to react to everything.
That's exactly right. And Norway actually prides themselves on their adaptability. They said it's one of their strengths going forward is that, yes, we do have compositions that we like to run, but we're able to change up. And I think that Switzerland has had less time to really work together. Again, you got to try to coordinate work schedules, class schedules, and do you even really have time to scrim? And it just seems like they're going to run what they run until they're forced to change it.
Right, exactly. So you just bend their arm back far enough. I was laughing at Hex. I mean, I was listening to what you were saying, but I was also laughing at the fact that the observer was trying to get a camera shot of that shark up close.
Oh, great.
So a bit of a jump scare there.
Thanks, guys. That's why I was looking away.
Shout out to the observer.
I saw you grinning, and I knew that. Like when I see you grinning, I'm like, oh, this is bad for me. that's my first instinct.
God damn it. All right, well, now I got to work on my game face, my poker face a bit more here, obviously.
Yeah. All right, so defensively, Switzerland not out of this map. Look, they've already taken a map. Now they can actually take Blizzard World if they just full hold. And on Blizzard World, not unheard of to full hold this first point.
Yeah, welcome to our matchmaking experiences. Except that I'm usually the one full holding. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Get out of here, Brent.
Brent, I got him out of here, Hex. Repeatedly.
Yes, repeatedly you did. All right, so high ground hold for Switzerland here. This is generally what you might see with an Orisa. You might just be scoping out, though, here. Maybe drop a shield up there for some early poke, damage booster Widow. No shield up top. There it is. Oh, really cool play. You toss it super high in the air, and already the trap finds Track back to spawn with you, Sombra.
There's a trade. Okay, IPN going to go in for the Zen.
All right, full dive. Onigod on Tracer, Track's going to go to Genji. They run both dive heroes. This is about as traditional as dive as you get. Zen, Lucio, Diva, Winston, Tracer, Genji.
All right, so we do have that duo. We're going to see a lot of Winston and Tracer play, 1-2 combination, with the Tracer obviously trying to kill the Winston softened heroes. Scorpion on the high ground. Well, Switzerland just electing to once again just stake together, work together as a unit, but that's also going to be a beautiful target here for the dive to go right in on them. Big kill on Remix. Shinoda going to die without that healing right now. Switzerland are going to be hard pressed to hold.
It's been back and forth. A couple next kills might really decide things. A missed hook might come back to bite them, though, as he could have got tracked there. But with that dash reset, going to just dash right through. And so no full hold going to be possible here. Now they've got to hold right outside the box. Make sure that payload doesn't get too far. That is the box right there.
Yep.
And it seems kind of counterintuitive to be diving something like that with a Junkrat and Orisa setup, but that's how you deal with Orisa. You can't really get away. Just throw as much pressure on her as possible, and then hopefully make trades in your favor.
That was sick that they just pick up Remix. I mean, that's the best kill you can get right there. Oh, you had healing? Not anymore. You're dead. Speaking of which, that was a nice tire there thrown in by Shinoda, so that'll delay things a little bit further here. Onigod gonna get found by Lux as well.
Switzerland said they were no mercy, and you know, the play on words I admired as well, but Remix did seem very happy that it wasn't gonna have to play mercy. Now perhaps a little bit rusty on it, unable to defend himself early on, but also in that kind of composition, where's mercy gonna go? There's nowhere to fly to, there's no safety, you're just sitting there.
I thought my mercies were made out of stainless steel, Hex. You know, rust? What's that?
Yeah, it's all that glimmers is not gold, perhaps. Oni looking for a flank here. He's got his pulse bomb ready.
Oh, I think that one got eaten. It did. Nice D-Matrix play there. And now, well, you're not going to be able to D-Matrix this. There's Track, hack and slash, 2 kills. And we'll get a third off the back of it. Mimic's not going to be able to get out of there as well. And just perfect play here from Norway, setting it all up, catching Switzerland between a rock and a hard place, and they will find success here on the second map.
Track comes to life. His best hero pool is that flex DPS, the projectile heroes, your Pharahs and your Genjis, of course. And Norway will equalize things. We sit here 1-1 out of our 4 maps.
Sick work. They did. You know, sometimes you do get that teams needing a little bit of time to warm up, shake off the nerves, right? It's the first match of the tournament. You're playing on a stage in front of a crowd, not quite feeling what's going on. But it's looking like Norway more than capable. Excellent work on the second map on Blizz World.
You at least got some free gear. You're supposed to take the sticker off the hat, son. Come on. I'm getting old, man. Getting old.
2018. Come on, man. Seriously, now you're supposed to leave the tags on your shoes. I'm like, you gotta draw them in somewhere.
Wait, come on. Are you serious?
You gotta draw them in somewhere.
I leave the security tags on my jeans.
I don't even have tags on these shoes. Or laces, or anything to do with that. Let's go ahead and hand it over to Puckett. He's got a coach to talk to.
Thank you so much, Semler. That's right, I got MKL here, the coach of Team Norway, and we got to start off here. Yeah, make some noise for this man. You've been around the scene since the very beginning. You put this squad together. You've been coaching these guys through it, but you came out a little bit slow on our first map. What happened on Nepal?
So just to credit Switzerland, they played the tank comms really well. So us Europeans really credit ourselves on the tank play, and they made us really proud with that. I think we came out a little bit slow. We were like stage jittery, but as Blizzard Ball came, we played our game and we played really well.
We saw some nice dives. Track was popping off there on the Genji to close out game number 2. You guys are now tied up at the half. But looking forward, we know we have a few more maps to go. What do you think is going to be your greatest strength if Norway's going to get the win here today?
So I think we played our dive really well. And then as for a game mode, our escort is probably our strongest map mode.
Feeling good about the escort coming up? All right, there we have it. This is MKL. Give it up for him one more time. Norway, Switzerland, it's all tied up. Second half coming up when we return. The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup, and by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
J-Crowd in full effect. Took down both supports as they
In the Overwatch League, you're hyping up the chat, taking your team to hashtag trending, and spreading memes at tracer-level speed.
all while watching us cap the point.
Speed like that deserves a network that can keep up. With T-Mobile, get all the Overwatch League you can handle with coast-to-coast coverage. Now your arena is where you make it.
break everybody. Yes, we've got a tied up series here, Hex. 1-1. Turns out that, you know, the Nords, not that passive after all.
Yeah, and I talked to, like I said, there's 4 guys who have been on this stage before, this kind of stage in the Overwatch World Cup, and I was like, are you guys nervous at all? They're like, no, maybe these couple guys will, but we'll help them along. They had no nerves at all, but came out a little bit shaky, but you got to give all credit to Switzerland there. They played so well on their favorite map. I mean, if you're going to take one map, they got it right away, and now their eyes are set. Their next goal that I talked about was like, we would actually like to beat Austria as well. You know, kind of regional rivalry there. You know, so Switzerland versus Austria is going to be coming up tomorrow, I believe. Tune
That's
in
where
for that one.
I wish we could get some player comms.
Yeah.
The level of trash talk in that game will be high.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Be fun to watch. But so far, it's been really interesting to see that it's not just these compositions that we expected. I mean, we expected with teams with less times to scrim that they're probably just going to run triple tank, triple support. It's a comp that doesn't require the most coordination. Everyone's together. You know where your teammate is. But now we've seen some nice switches into Sombra. We've seen McCree. We've seen Pharah. We've seen Widow. So
seen Mercy.
Yeah, a lot more diversity than I was expecting early on. And we do have a substitution. Here comes Helv, who the Swiss tell me is the best player on their team.
So he's going to be that anchor, that guy to just rally around here to close out this series for Switzerland. So he'll be getting in momentarily, and we will be getting that third map underway.
And the only time you can make substitutions in the Overwatch World Cup is at halftime, and that player must stay in as well. So substitution game a little bit different than the Overwatch League if you're used to that one where you can sub in every map. Only substitutions made at halftime, and that's it. You're stuck with them too. So a lot of teams had some issues with that. They're planning around it, but they do want to give everyone some playtime, of course.
Oh, yeah, you want to get, but then it removes the strategy of, you know, like, oh, we have specialists, we have map specialists, comp specialists, this is where we want to use this guy, etc. So there are, it's going to make things a little bit more difficult, I'd say, for some teams to shine, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, could be an issue going forward here. But like I said, man, I was rooting for Switzerland unabashedly until they got their first map. Now I'm just going to be neutral. I'm going to be as Swiss as possible.
Yes, yes, yes. And you're going to lie back as Norway poke holes in you repeatedly.
No, we just got clock jokes, chocolate jokes. Did you know that Switzerland has the highest consumption of chocolate in the entire world?
You know why, Hex?
Why?
Because when it's cold, you want sugar. You want chocolate. You know, when you're out there and you're freezing, that's how it's quick energy, quick burn energy. Get that in your body and you're good to go.
Okay.
That's it. So just, you know, hey, knowledge, guys. If you go out hiking and you're really cold, just bring some chocolate, bring some candy with you. You'll be all right.
There you go. Good information there. We are going to head into the Temple of Anubis. We're going to be a control map. Now, this is an interesting map because you can run those tank compositions, just kind of bull your way in. But it's also a really good Widow map, especially on first point. A good Junkrat map, especially on first point on defense. And then last point, you can see all sorts of stuff. Also, and we've been talking to some teams that Sombra is very much back into the meta, especially against these tank compositions. Anubis and Volskaya is where Sombra made her bones, her debut on the scene before some of the changes came around to her hero. She was a must pick on both of these because in Control, you're trying to bank up ultimates and make one good push, or sorry, in Assault, bank up ultimates and make one good push, and Sombra's just like, nah, nope.
I mean, you think all the bones would be in museums, considering how much time has been around here, you know? Where this map is located. No more mummies left here, Hex. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Sombra's just, you know, out there gathering.
I would like to see some Hammond. They did go over it a little bit. Hammond's been so fun to watch right now. Hammond and Winston doing so much damage on this current patch.
I was happy to have one on my team, yeah.
Yeah, our Hammond was, he was all right. I think he's got a path to pro.
Yeah, he does. Hey. Hey.
First, we will be seeing Johnny at another Overwatch World Cup stage. We're only at the second one in lovely Los Angeles. Did you know that Switzerland is roughly the same geographic size as Los Angeles?
Stop it. So,
all right, I gotta save them. We have more Switzerland games.
I mean, exactly. You're gonna start going through these, then I'm just gonna be like, okay, buddy, let's keep going.
I don't want to use all my currency, which in Switzerland is the Swiss franc.
Stop it. Thanks.
All right, defensively set up. We've got an Orisa and a Junkrat here. It's pretty standard. We've got a Widow in the back lines. No Mercy off of the table now as they're going to run a Mercy and Zen. Offensively, Norway looks like they liked what they saw with Bolt Eye, but they're going to put a Sombra in this mix as well. The only heals on the team being that Lucio. Never mind.
Yeah.
No heals.
Who needs heals anyway? Just kill everything.
There's going to be packs up here. IPN has taken the pack on that top side. They're going to try to pressure up this Widow. It's a really smart move if you're going to run dive to not just try to go in on the ground here. make that Widow deal with you. And now Tracer might just be in the back line. We see Tracers when they get back there just go on a magical mystery tour.
Oh, buddy, right now, decent defense coming in here from Switzerland. A lot of work being done by Shinoda, but we lose Remix again. And that might throw things completely out of whack here for Switzerland. Without that throughput healing, it's gonna make it so hard to hold, especially when you got a Genji chucking shurikens in the back of your head. Lux is out, and that is gonna be Switzerland getting overwhelmed.
Lux was in a good spot to try to bring his team back. Excuse me, Lux was in a good spot, but he did not see the Genji behind him, and that's, you know, that's kind of what being a ninja is all about. You don't see
Exactly,
it.
Hex. There you go.
All right, now you try to snowball this because you know that the defense is going to have to switch compositions. What works on first doesn't necessarily work on last, and hopefully you have ultimates ready to go. However, Norway does not have those ultimates banked up, but Oni God could change that right now. He's got his pulse bomb. He gets spotted out early, though. They're going to be looking for him on the side.
I like that. Getting caught on things, you know, environment, just making it difficult, even more difficult to predict where he's going to be next. Just trying to change up the angle of attack. If he can get into the back line with this pulse bomb, things are going to get fun. And he is looking for it. Yep, Shinoda dead. Perfect. Now just keep the pressure on Remix. Don't allow for the reset. And it is looking fairly good here for Norway. The total dive and the wipeout of the defense. Switzerland, they're getting overwhelmed.
They lost one early. We talk about triple as a snowbally kind of composition because once you get rolling with that comp, it's good. But dive is just like that as well. Once you get one kill, then you get dash resets. The Tracers, they're finishing off low health targets. And it is just Lucio dancing on the ceiling. But this isn't a Springsteen song. This is Norway completing it.
Excellent work from Norway. You got to give it. I'm glad that we were following Oni God's perspective as well. Feels like he was kind of the instigator going in, just setting it up with that initial stick pulse bomb kill. And then, of course, you've got Track, who's just going to be in here to just hack people's heads off. Great target focus right there. Yep, done. And then you get the Dragon Blade.
Remix just unable to get out of there alive. You get dash resets, you're just cutting everything up. And this has always been a great map for Genji on last point because Dragon Blade is that closeout ultimate where you're going to get multiple kills and you're going to get them very, very quickly rather than the slow, sustained push that a tank ball will give you. Dive is all about that burst.
It's just coming in like a wrecking ball. Except we don't have it here. Never mind. I can't make that joke anymore because then it's an actual hero.
I mean, you shouldn't make it to begin with. It's just not a good joke. I've told you this several times. I don't know why you listen to me.
Just can't get the song out of my head, Hex. Wake up in the morning. How do you get pumped, right?
Yeah.
Definitely not with that song.
I guess that's song.
Definitely not with that song. All right. So Norway, obviously we're going to switch in sides as we try to say some change to the subject. Let's actually talk about some Overwatch. Eco. On that Mercy, we will have it. And Ana as well. I am so happy to see more Ana play, though. Mechanically sound hero, more difficult, more challenging.
Yeah.
But also just fun. Sleep darts for days.
It seems like all the, with the reworks that have happened with supports now that, like, yes, Ana's harder to play than some of the other supports, but now you get value out of it. If you've worked on it, if you are putting in the time and you're actually skillful on it, then you are getting more value than some of the easier supports to play. They all have their place in the meta right now, and that means that the meta is in a very good place.
Exactly. That's the joy of it. I want to see more variety in the comps. Show me how deep the hero pool goes. All right. So countdown's about to finish.
This is
the game is about to begin.
That is a very aggressive high ground hold right there with the Orisa shield up front. Do they have anything to deal with this on offense? They do! Luke's takes matters into his own scope. Takes down Oni God.
Oh, buddy. Had to be careful about that angle. Luke showing the shots. Now he can get control of that high ground if he wants. And IPN all the way, playing passive in the back line. Nikon finds Shinoda, though.
Shinoda found himself right there. He fell right into a trap, and he deflected, but it's just a matter of time before that runs out. And now, despite that early pick, Oni is back in position anyway, so we're completely reset here.
Yeah, and we've got the Shetland set up now as well, where Oni can get to hang about. Looks like he's trying to get an off angle here going. Instead of hanging out on the balcony, he's going to be a bit more aggressive. This puts him at risk, but also going to throw things out of whack perhaps here for Switzerland, who are getting, well, chiseled down.
Oni's done a really good job. He almost got that DMAC going early on in that one. Now he's going to back all the way up. What you want to do in Widow here is make them try to dive you and then go to the other spot and then go to the other spot. There's several locations, almost a triangulation of Widow spots on this point. It's just about never getting caught without your grappling hookup.
Nicely done, Track. He missed the first one, got the second. Shinoda's out of the fight. Now we've got a tire, and they're all clumped up, ready and waiting. Again, Remix will die. Luke's and Hell follow. And man, Remix is he's having a bit of a tough game here these past couple of matches.
Yeah, it's tough. Mercy's, Allegedly, she's Swiss. You know, doesn't speak Swiss with the proper German accent, according to our friend Zoe. But
happens to be.
I would like to see them use Valkyrie and use some ultimates here, and then if it doesn't work, just get off of it. I don't think he's comfortable on it. He hasn't looked like he's been able to escape properly. I don't know if his team is giving him the escapes that he needs to get out of there. Just play what you're comfortable on. I'd use ultimates, and then if it doesn't work out, perhaps thinking of switch to the composition.
Yeah, a couple minutes left. Factor in a push. I mean, we've got ults. We're gonna straight up just chuck that nade in. Not quite gonna find a target though. Scorpion looking for the angles. With that barrier in the way, makes things just a little bit spicy. Not quite able to keep up with the healing. We will have, well, just the D.Va dying here as Track is once again ruling the roost.
That's a nice kill on IPN. Remix is still up here. He's able to bring D.Va back into this. They're committing. If you're gonna commit, let's go. Here's the blade.
Yeah, and now it's about Eco. Eco gets dashed through. We do have bomb thrown right into the corner. Shinoda still hanging out here with the blade. Finds the kill on Track. But we've lost Luke's at the hands of Eco as well.
Some nice pressure here, though, from Shinoda, still going forward, even though with that blade dying. Great healing there from Remix, but puts himself in harm's way.
Excellent nade right in there, denying the heal possibility. Shinoda still hanging out so very low right now. Has to be worried about a follow-up nade. But IPN, Eco and IPN at risk. We lose Eco. IPN somehow manages to stay alive in all of this.
I think it's all over but the crying here, though. Shinoda will fall. They will clean up that D.Va, and now there's only a minute left. Remix almost peeked around that corner, but that one's over. They committed everything that they had as far as ultimate abilities go in that push for Switzerland. We are under a minute, otherwise Norway will take the lead in this series 2-1.
So what does Switzerland have in store for us here to deal with these nades? With Onigod, who's on fire right now, just popping off.
They're not making any switches here. They're just going to run at it again, and I think you have to get Shinoda to get another blade up. He's at 75%, should be able to get another Dragon Blade, which can swing the fight.
Yeah, there it is. You're calling for it, Hex. The man will deliver. He's got the blade online. Now it's a matter of finding the opening. Boosted decod right now.
Yeah, you wait now because you don't want to go into a boosted Winston. However, they lost Luke's behind this. He's got the Mercy. Have the Mercy, Oni.
Oni, God. What a play. Headshot instantly, and the hopes right now getting shattered for Switzerland. We've lost the D.Va as well. Remix hanging on by a thread. We do have an Angry Monkey. That's Health pasting Onigod into the corner, but now he's 1v5, and he's not going to last long. Overtime, Wick's burning down. Lux is trying to get into this, trying to just touch the point to keep it alive, but he gets denied point blank by a tire to the face.
Very excellent, flashy DPS play from Norway there. Not only was it Onigod, but it was Track with a consistent damage that put the healers in a rough spot. Do I go heal my other healer? Do I heal the rest of my team? So much damage being outputted by that Junkrat. 5,500 damage, 25% of his team's overall damage output on that Junkrat. Yes, Onigod gets the flashy plays. Actually, Onigod did outdamage him. 27% of the damage on the team. A DPS carry from Norway as they're able to take Temple of Anubis.
Yeah. Shout outs to Onigod, the demon god. What plays, and we are going to be going into map 4. So right now in the lead, as you well know.
No, it was map 3, IMO.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I just noticed that I was like, wait a second, this is doing my head in now, but never mind, it's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to confuse you.
I'm just like, oh my God, yes, there it is. Hey, right there. All right, so it is 2-1, and we have a Widow comparison coming here to take a look at it as, well, the Demon God was definitely going to work.
Luke's held his own pretty early on, though, right? It's like, well, are you going to have an answer for Oni? He just pops him right in the dome, though. But the problem is that Luke's was under pressure so often from the opposing Genji as well. They had a little bit of issues there, and you do see the damage done overall. Luke spent more time on it, almost a minute more, but got out-damaged, out-final blowed, out-elimed. The difference between final blows and eliminations. Eliminations means you helped. Final blows means I finished it.
Yeah, you got the job done.
Yeah, didn't die as much either, but you know, it's a team game, and all these one-by-one comparisons do matter a little bit. It's overall, did your team allow you to do this? Were you protected? Did you get the healing? I mean, you saw that Onigod very often had his Mercy with him to damage boost, but also they set themselves up so that their Mercy had an escape. Right? You can come back here because if you get dived up front, then I'm back here and I'll take the dive and I'll grapple away. Then you can go to the team. They just seemed a little more coordinated as far as giving their Mercy options.
Well, shall we say standard, right? A little bit more standard is kind of the feel that I get, just because we did see Luke's, trying to get into these off angles, trying to hold close on the bridge, trying to hold low ground, not really taking advantage of the full Shetland pony kind of setup with that shield. So well, you know, I love this map. I don't know about you, Hex, but I'm a big fan of Gibraltar.
You know, it was funny when I was talking to Norway. They're like, well, we run tank heavy, right? So we're generally really good on King's Row and Rialto. And then one of the other members chimed in. He goes, but oddly enough, we're also the gods of Gibraltar. He's like, I don't know what it is about that map that really suits our style, but they're very confident going into Gibraltar as well. So he's like, it makes no sense. We don't understand why, but we are the gods of Gibraltar. This group of idiots is also the gods of Gibraltar. I love Norway.
Big words. Big words. I don't know what to see about that. Challenge me on my
Well, I mean,
turf.
you think about what we've seen from Norway in the last couple of maps, and it hasn't been the super tank heavy ground and pound push on the ground. They've been running dive.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a Widow and Genji, Tracer, I mean, anything else, Gibraltar's going to be a good map for you. They also did mention they might run Tord as well.
Hey, I heard that chuckle. I heard that
How dare
chuckle.
you? That's a hero you're talking about.
Exactly.
How dare you?
Oh, no. Eco, don't do it to us.
Well, they wouldn't run it on offense, very likely. Unless they really want to invest in kind of a quasi-pirate ship. You set up a gun on the payload and just keep pushing it. It can be hard to crack. Now, defensively is what we know they're absolutely going to run because they're out of spawn. We've got a Brigitte, we've got a Mercy, we've got an Ana. Got a couple of dive tanks and a Widow. So an interesting composition here.
Yeah, he was going to be able to hang out with each other, and looks like he's going to be able to win the duel initially here versus Onigod. So I'm not going to get my hopes up yet, though, Hex. You saw this happen before.
Yeah, his dueling has been good. It's just where the other shots are coming in. So his Widow v Widow's been strong. He's even killing him in unresable positions. Though a kill that early, you really don't even want to waste the res on. It's just a cooldown that you would rather have somewhere else. And now Switzerland taking back. They're just holding on the high ground, up on the crate.
Oh, buddy, that was a headshot, double headshot. All right, Oni, that was a body shot. Just going to keep going down the line. He's hit 5 shots in a row, 3 of them headshots. Let's go, buddy.
Well, they were able to take down Decod, so it's going to be very difficult to pressure Lukes. A lot of this pressure is going to have to happen from Oni hitting shots. He's hit a lot of headshots. His ultimate is nearly charged. That's a shot that helps. Track is able to come in as well, take down Remix, but Lukes 2-0 in the duel.
Again, and we lose Scorpion, and that's going to be a res used on Onigod this time around. Lukes is just actually coming alive here with kill after kill. Track trying to keep the pressure on and not let him get too comfortable. Yes, pay attention to me. So you can take the arrow to the face this time.
Just
and well,
fade away. Up over the edge. He doesn't even see when it lands right there. Now he's got a dragon ready too. That's exactly where you always put the dragon. No reinforcements coming through that door. That way you know where everyone else is going to be funneled to. And a couple of late kills. It seems like Norway should be able to grab this point eventually.
Yeah, oh man, Track right now. It's going ham. 5 final blows, 6 final blows. Let's keep it rolling. Finally, Elva's going to be able to smash him into the ground, but it's too little too late. And we will get a first point picked up here for Norway.
I'm very impressed with Track so far in this series because if Norway is going to be able to contend with the USA and Canada, everyone knows how good Onigod is. And everyone's known how good Onigod is for years. Now, he's going to be shut down. If you can shut down one, then your other DPS is going to have room to work. And so far, Track has taken advantage of all the room he's had to work.
He's been doing excellent work. So now it's a matter for Switzerland. They lose Remix first. It's pretty much the worst stagger you can get because now you're going to have to fight it late. And Track just going to chuck arrows. Oh, what a shot! Remix, that just sucks. I mean, it's not like he sucks, that just sucks. You're just wrong place, wrong time, arrow in the face.
That's really rough. There was a nice anti-heal on top of the shuttle there, and both the tanks with a great disengagement. Track just stayed up front. He's like, they're gonna dive you guys, and our tanks are gonna be there, so I'm just gonna hit 3 shots in a row. I'm gonna Robin Hood it.
Yeah, he's wearing tights too. What a beast, and now he's got the dragon online.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why this combination of DPS works so well is because all of the information that you get. You get infrared sight right there to be able to lock that dragon through. Track hitting the close range right there. This is the Track show. Welcome to the Track meet.
Man, and the tickets are free. He is so beast right now. What a play! There's the headshot on Remix going for the bold res. Ends up costing him. And this is definitely going to be a second point picked up here for Norway, who are just cruising through Jib.
This is ridiculous. 14 eliminations, 11 final blows for Track right now. He's got 33% of his team's damage. He's hitting 33% of his shots on Hanzo.
Yeah, that's not easy. That is not easy. And now we got the brothers going at it right now. Bit of a spat.
Shimedo, Shimada. We'll see which one is better.
Where are shots. I mean, he's getting on one. Yep, going on line for the Dragon again. There's reflect, dodges that, no problem at all.
Deflection coming in, he can just fire this one across the bridge. Why not? You're getting it up every fight.
Yeah. High ground cleared. Right behind the Diva Bomb, though, so a little staggered on the fighting. Eco's getting dangerously low, getting pocketed by IBN, and it's looking like he will survive. They just can't kill this Mercy right now. The trance comes through. Eco, I mean, immediately topped up again.
They had a nano on the Winston, and he got bullied away, had to hide in the corner. It has been all Norway here on Gibraltar, and hey, they said they were the gods of Gibraltar. I'm beginning to believe it.
I mean, when the coach is saying, hey, you know, we love payload maps, I mean, this is, I mean, look at this. The body block is perfect. Not letting him even get out from spawn. Switzerland right now, I mean, it's chaos. You have to hope you can get the job done here.
And as a Tracer trying to go against the Hanzo that has put an arrow in your head a couple times, you just lose all confidence. You end up burning out your blinks early, you end up burning out recall early, and Norway will finish with a blazing fast time here on Gibraltar.
Excellent work. Everybody on fire for Norway in the end. Just hardly any kills at all. 10 of them coming through in the end for Switzerland.
You know what I appreciate about Track is that he did a lot of his damage without using storm arrows.
Yeah.
You know, without using the ability that just lets you pepper in 5 shots. He was actually hitting headshots. When he killed that Mercy, she was spinning in the air to try to dodge him in a resurrection, and he missed, I think, all 5 of his storm arrows. And then he's like, you know what, I'm not good with these. I'll just use the regular old one. Plinks her in the head.
There you go. Done point blank on the Tracer, too, a couple times. That definitely rung some bells.
That's got to be huge for them to get some confidence in Track. You know, a player that maybe they've not played a ton with before, not necessarily previously on these teams. And like I said, you know your known commodities and your D-COD and your Oni-God. You know what is there. Where is everyone else going to step up? Because they're going to be the focus of enemy teams. Enemy teams are going to shut down Oni-God and be like, someone else has to beat us.
Yeah.
And Track right now is proving that he can beat you.
I mean, Track right now is running at 6 KD, 14-1. It's like, okay, that's not too bad.
Nice.
That's not too bad. You're doing your work.
It's the 14 final blows, which astounds me. Like, Oni-God's doing well. He's got 17 limbs, only 7 final blows.
He's a bit more generous. He feels like sharing.
Yeah, why not?
He's looking out.
You know, give a little confidence. Give a little confidence.
That's helping Track out. You know?
I just wonder how high pitch your voice is gonna get. Just keep going with it.
Norway though, well, now they're gonna get the swap onto the defense, and we're gonna get Track on that Genji, but we were seeing some sick blades from him, so I'm not even worried about that. The guy's gonna keep running game on the Swiss.
I really expected Oni-God to be running the Genji. That's what I remember him most on, but he's also probably the best hit scan player on the team. Well, there's actually no doubt he's the best hit scan DPS on this team. So when you have to run a Widow, you have to run a Tracer, he's gonna be your guy.
And in the meantime, Switzerland, we will get the dive tanks. We will get the Mercy, who's going to be able to follow them along with Deanna. Okay, so exactly, immediately getting a little bit of room to work with here on the high ground. That's going to be held. And in the meantime, we should have that payload making its way forward. Kiva's going to be the one having to keep an eye on it for now. And yeah, Norway just holding all the way back. They're like, yeah, sure, we won't even like give you the chance to get an early kill to get the ball rolling. We're just going to wait for our opportunity.
I mean, it's generally where you want to hold in high-level Overwatch. A lot of your ladder play, you'll start holding forward and then try to get a retreat going back here. So a lot of the more professional teams will just hold back to begin with, taking that advantage of it. Defender's advantage. They will just jump on this right away. A nice equalize there. Takes down both of the heroes that just fell. It is 4v4 right now. Offense going to keep pushing here. Oh, Mercy isolated.
Big advantage here as well because Remix is going to get back into this fight earlier, and so we will have that heal throughput coming through here for Switzerland. Oni-God finding Scorpion though, and Remix once again. Remix dies. 9 deaths for Remix so far. I mean, you don't really want to throw the guy under the bus though, because it's like 8 deaths for Scorpion, 8 for Shinoda, 8 for Helv, so it's not like he's just.
It just always feels
out of control.
worse.
It's not sideshow level, you know, like
No.
it's not out that bad.
No, it's not quite sideshow level yet. And it always just seems worse because it's Mercy. She's the linchpin of your team.
Yeah.
If you kill a Mercy, that's a fight that you generally expect to win because of her healing output and because of her ability to scramble away. And also, yeah, she can bring you back to life if you die. It's kind of important.
What's important is that Oni-God is starting to win this duel versus Loose as well. So we will get the res used here by Remix. So there's that mechanic that was just mentioned. And now Track getting in here. Nano boosted blade. Going for the hack and slash. 1 target, looking for 2. Gets robbed of that one by D-COD. No fair. And well, still,
really don't have anything to shut down this Genji either. Lux has actually played really well so far in this map. He's just been stringing headshots together, which is really important. They're relying on maybe hitting a sleep dart or having their Winston in the correct area to be able to shut down Track on the Genji, and they finally take him out of the mix. Here comes Help, who we mentioned might be the best player on this team.
Send them straight in right there. Decod now decides to get a bit angry. Looking to survive. Not the best one though, because Helm is also going to be there to punch him in the face. So it's a Winston on Winston action. Caught in the corner. Decod getting tased, and he just barely gets topped up again. Switzerland still in this fight. Minute and a half on the clock, and they will pick up this first point.
Finally come through there, are able to clean up the mess of the rest. Nice little late stagger. They could get on the Devo, but they take the Mercy down instead. We'll see the positioning that they take. Switzerland not out of this one yet. And they're able to pull off this map to come away against Norway 2-2, I think would blow away everyone's expectations of both of these teams.
Yeah, I agree. Shinoda though. Looking for the angle.
Can nanoblade him. You've got the nanoblade. It's one of the combinations as old as time. You always think about who are good targets for Ana to nano boost. Give the extra damage, give it the resistance to. And it's always been really heavy tanks or really, really tricky flanking DPS. So Genji's been a primary target of nano boost since the heroes were introduced.
The dawn of time. Let's see, there it is. Boosted Shinoda looking to just hack him up. There's one kill onto Onigon. Manages to set it up for Eco as well, and Scorpion finding Decod. Switzerland just rolling through this second point now with some great ult usage.
They need to roll through this point and actually take it though. The cart's a little further behind because they invested a great deal into this one. There was a Valkyrie used, a Nano, and a Blade going forward, as well as a Primal Rage. It's a ton of ultimates, but Norway also not great in the economy as well.
Onigon needs to survive. We've lost Decod here for Norway though. He was trying to get through that choke point, but he got shut down. Now it's the Blade fully committed here by Track, looking to come up with the big plays. There's the one. Self-destruct finds nothing apart from Tricky. There's the DMAC. But right now, Norway, the delayed challenge on the payload is working out.
It's just really smart. You see the timings of some of these teams be so much better than others of, yes, let's give up ground. Let's wait. We're not ready to fight yet, so let's wait. You saw a lot from Canada as well on their re-engagements when they came back in. Of course, they were running a lot of Sombra, so they knew exactly where people were and what time they had. But it's fine to give up progress as long as you don't give up points. The point will extend the clock. That clock right now for Switzerland sitting at 2 minutes.
It's about to take over as well. And now that payload, it has started to push back towards spawn. Scorpion about to get another boost online here. And with wall hacks for Switzerland, Luke's, he's going to be able to try and set up these shots. He's got to come up with something, and he does deliver. Onigon out of the fight immediately. And there's the follow-up kit on Track. Switzerland really falling back on the luxury of having this Widow on their team.
Now they trade out yet again. Now the deciding kills are coming in from Shinoda, who had to pick up the slack. Luke's has been doing his job just fine. Tricky is going to come into the highlight reel again with a 3 elimination self-destruct.
You guys can't see it right now, but it's a double facepalm head holding action going on right now because you're thinking this is it. Switzerland, they're going to get that second point, and then debunks.
You do look distraught. And it's just great kills early on from Luke's. He takes down both of the flanking DPS as a Widow. That's insanity. And then Shinoda comes in, gets himself a couple kills without having to use Blade. The saving grace is that they will have Blade for this next fight. They have Nano again. They have Winston's Primal Rage. They've got a lot to work with. Switzerland, do or die time. Here's the Nano.
Oh, what a sleep! What a sleep! Oh, man, IBN the hero! Nano boosted Blade, I think not. Oh, a sick play.
Sleeping Nano's dream of electric sheep, rather. They are still in this one, though, despite that hero play. They got a couple of kills. They didn't finish off the kill up top on Shinoda, so they're still diving in, and Helv has come to life. Helv has put down so much big damage on this Winston. Now the Blade trying to come back, and one more miracle looking for it.
Yeah, again, it's Track, and again, Track will find his kill. Looking at Remix is floating out in the open right now, but Luke finds the key shot onto Track. A lot of damage lost here for Norway, but they still have the tanks in this fight. Tricky looking to get a remake. There's the DMAC on Kiva.
They're going to come in with Sound Barrier too. Norway thinks that they can bring this one back. They do have a defender spawn advantage, and they have ultimates yet to use, and Decod takes down Luke's. Has been so important.
What a stick on the Baby Diva, no less. Remix is dead. There's the backline gone for Switzerland. Shinoda, the last man alive here, does find the refly kill on IPN, but it's not going to be enough, and it doesn't look like anybody is close enough here for Switzerland to keep this map alive. Norway, the flags exactly flying high. Another victory for them.
Another victory for Norway. They will take the series 3-1, and when I spoke to them, they said every map is really important to us. I think they're a little surprised that they lost to the first map to Switzerland, but give Switzerland all the credit in the world as well. I think they put some people on notice with a lot of their individual performances. Now the question is now that you've got them all here and you're playing together, it counts as practice. Now you're able to scrim together, you're able to play on the LAN client together. I would expect them to continue to improve as the tournament goes on, but I think I was expecting Switzerland to not perform as well as they did. They put up a very good fight against a winning Norway team.
Yeah, so then they managed to actually find that first win as well. So they've shown themselves now that they're capable.
Right.
They are able to find success here on the main stage, Switzerland. So no reason to get down, just more experience. And, going forward, we've got 2 more days of this kind of action coming up, Hex. Yeah. They have more chances to prove themselves.
Yeah, and that confidence is just absolutely important as well. I mean, look, these guys, like I said, they don't know if they can become pro gamers, and we mentioned yesterday, there's some stories of guys performing very well in the Overwatch World Cup who go on to greater things, to contenders, to the Overwatch League. But let's go onto the floor and see what Decod had to say.
Hex, here with Decod from Team Norway. You were able to come out, get your first victory of the group stage. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling really good. It's a good thing to get a win on your first match here, so I feel really good about it.
Are you a little disappointed that you guys weren't able to pull off the 4-0 like you kind of predicted that you would?
I mean, we predicted, 4-0, but I felt like our first map was more of a warm-up for us to realize, like, okay, we have to take everyone seriously. We can't just think we're going to 4-0.
Right. Now, last year when you guys were coming into the World Cup, you were all a little bit fresh, but since then, you've been playing in contenders, last night leftovers. Do you feel like with you having that experience, you've been able to contribute to your team's overall game sense?
With the coaching staff we had at LNL, it was such a big improvement for our mentality going into the game. I can't thank the staff at LNL enough for the help they gave us.
All right. Now, last question for you, man. The last time you and I spoke on camera, you were, boasting about how luscious and great that your beard was. Do you still feel like you have the best beard in Overwatch? Is it safe to say that?
I would say it's safe to say that, yeah.
All right. You heard it from Decod. He has the best beard in Overwatch. Yo, Fraggy, Zebasai, if this man gets in the league, you're going to have a run for your money. But anyways, thank you very much, Decod. Everybody give him a hand. And with that, we're going to go ahead and break down that Norway victory with the casters. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Malik. Yes, so Norway, they found success.
It was kind of funny to hear him say, like, well, I guess after the first warm-up game, we have to decide to take everyone seriously. And they were talking about how, like, USA and Canada is not going to take them seriously, and they're going to use their hubris against them. And I guess hubris, that double-edged sword right there.
I like that. They might have that opinion, right? Where it's just like, oh, they just think it's a stupid thing.
Yeah.
Or an American thing. not saying that Americans are stupid. Yeah, shout out. All right, so if you get that reference, I love you, and we'll get along great. All right, so now, what are we going to go into next?
Wait, next match? Or
yeah, next match. What's up?
I just put on my schedule.
You did actually put on the schedule.
We were just looking at it. I don't have a memory.
Yeah, but yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the T-Mobile Fan Pulse. It's brought to you by the fastest network in America ever. So, track is dominating. Good things. Good things. That's what we saw.
Yeah, it's about as easy as. But it's so important as Norway goes forward that he continues to play that well. As I mentioned, you need 2 DPS to be able to play in any sort of league, because if one person is locking down a team, you just send resources at them. But someone else has to step up. It's very much like any other kind of sport. We're not going to let this guy beat us. We're going to cover him. Someone else has to beat us.
And yeah, and I mean, that is something that we did manage to get into. Just the variety. We're seeing the depth of the hero pools for these teams in particular, but also, thankfully, the meta is allowing for those guys to express themselves and really show what they're capable of. Lots of comp switches, and that's exactly what I want to see when I watch Overwatch.
I've been around Overwatch for a little over 2 years now, 2.5, almost getting on to 3 years now. And I think this meta is the most variety I've seen in a very long time. I'm actually surprised by it, because I thought it was going to be tanks and supports. Tanks and supports. When you don't have a lot of time to prepare, you try to just keep it simple. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You'll be fine. It's tanks and supports, tanks and supports, and instead we saw almost everything. Except we didn't see Torb, we didn't see Sim, we didn't see Bastion. I think you will see some of that during the Overwatch.
I hope. Crossed fingers, and I also hope that you guys are using the hashtag right now, hashtag OWWC 2018. If you guys want to get picked up on the broadcast, if you got some clever tweets, throw them at us, and might get featured.
Anything clever you have, please give it to us, because I got nothing.
We don't have any writers. It doesn't work that way.
No writers.
No one's writing our jokes.
Permanent strike. Obviously. I would hope not. Well, here is that aforementioned track, and he kicks it off strong here. I said that's a gutsy play to do it right into a Brigida's face. So he must have known the shield bash is on cooldown there so that he can get off that Death Blossom. Because if you're Death Blossoming and you get stunned, you're just death at that point.
Yeah, embodied, incarnate, 6 feet under. I mean, that is the the brutality of having a Brigida, but that's also why it's so key to have good comms, because you need to be calling out those valuable cooldowns. You need to know when flashbang's on cooldown, stuns are on cooldown.
And this is one of the reasons I think you still can run Tracer into these really tank-heavy and sustain-heavy compositions. If you're only modifying your Tracer, and say people are half health, she's a finisher now instead of just an eliminator. Where Pulse Bomb used to be able to just knock everyone dead, a lot more burst damage, a little bit of damage came off of that, but now people at half health and they're all clumped together, Pulse Bomb can finish fights.
I can absolutely wreck your day. And I mean, I just enjoy watching Tracer play. The mechanical skill involved with top-tier Tracer is so sick.
Speaking of mechanical skill right there, a blading Genji headshot by Onigod, and this is just a DPS reel, but you gotta give credit to everyone else on Norway, because Tricky, we didn't call his name a lot, but he hit a couple huge self-destructs. Decod was finishing kills, and then you know what's great is when you don't call supports names, because it means they're staying alive. They're not getting picked off. We didn't really have to talk about Norway supports at all, and it seems like every kind of line, DPS line, support line, tank line, are all working the way they should for Norway.
Yeah, just taking a look at the stats right now as far as Switzerland are concerned. I mean, it's just that DPS line between Track and Onigod was working so well that obviously it's going to be in their favor on Gibraltar. But Remix, we were calling his name a lot, but at the same time, the rest of his team is dying around him.
Right.
It's just a tough break for him. It feels like it's just rough edges that they need to go ahead and polish out. Guys, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll have Canada versus Brazil. So I don't know. I know you guys don't want to go anywhere. It's going to be North versus South America. Let's go.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.